when you're first getting started in design, there's a lot of moving parts that you need to consider. Oftentimes I have new designers talk to me about how to choose great color palettes, how to pair fonts well, and pull in all the pieces of a design together to really get them to work as one whole. Now, the thing is that it may look like it's just luck of the draw, but it's not. And it's not even trial and error, although trial and error and luck of the draw do come into play sometimes. But what really you need to do is to take the time to learn the different things and rules that are necessary for picking great color palettes and choosing and pairing fonts wisely so that it really gives that pop of contrast and draws the viewer's eye into your design. Today we're going to talk through using the color wheel, and there's a lot of information that you can find online about color theory and how to pick colors according to the color wheel and the science behind that. There's an article on my site that covers it really well, and you can read more about that there. But one of the tools that I wanted to show you is this free color wheel tool from Canva. Canva is an online graphic design program that I recommend to newbies who are just dipping their toes into design and deciding if this is something they really want to do. Just because you're new doesn't mean that you have to deal with bum color palettes and not great fonts. Canva provides a lot of options in both of those areas, as well as a lot of stock photography and other things. So I'd really highly recommend this tool if you haven't checked it out. There are free and subscription levels available. So start with the free, check out the options in the subscription. I cover a lot of all the details of Canva and the ins and outs of how to use it for your business or for just for fun or for design projects you have on my site. But today we're talking about color theory and the color wheel. The color wheel is a great opportunity, and Canva provides this easy tool. All you need to do is pick a color, and to do that you simply just select a different color on the palette. Now, any of these will work, and you'll notice if you're brand new to picking colors and giving templates, color palettes to work with, you'll notice these 6 numbers right here. This is called a hex code. You'll want to remember when you're satisfied with a color to go ahead and save that hex code. I'll show you how I do that in my Canva designs in just 1 second. But one of the things that you'll need to know is that you'll pick a color and then you can choose the color combination. All of these options in the drop-down menus are things that I cover in color theory. So complementary colors are 2 colors that are opposite of each other on the color wheel. Monochromatic will give you different shades of the same color. Then we have analogous colors, which will give you 3 varied tones right next to each other. Triadic, tetradic, you get the idea. So this is really fun to go ahead and play around with. I went ahead and selected a color. I'm going to flip over to this screen because now I'm going to show you how to take this information once you're set with a color palette and get it into Canva so you can start putting it to use. Here's how you do it. I've gone ahead and selected this color. Sometimes I just jot it down on a notepad at my desk. So I just write down this hashtag 33CCBC and then remember that. Because I've decided to pick a triadic or 3 colors that are opposite each other, equal distance on the color wheel, then they've given me these 3 options. You'll notice these white sliders pull up. I've got hex codes for each of the colors, but when I hover over the individual color, the sliders, if you click on them, they'll pull up. You have the option to actually change the hue and then the saturation, how pure we want it. Do we want it pretty pure? Do we want it to be really bright? Or do we want it to have more of a gray tone to it? And then the luminance or the intensity level. Here we're getting pretty white or opaque. Here we're getting almost to black. So I'm going to go ahead and leave them just as they are as the color wheel gives it to me. We can create a graphic or export a palette, but really the easiest way to do this and a great way to be able to save kind of color palettes that you've used in previous projects so that you can use them again or at least have them as an inspiration starting point is to go ahead and just take a screenshot. So I would go ahead and just select a screenshot. Really all the information you need is just up to those hex codes. So I'll take that screenshot, it saves to my computer, and then I wanted to show you basically how I pull it into Canva. This is an artboard. When you pull in the screenshot, I've already previously taken that screenshot, so I would go to my uploads over in the top left hand corner, and then I would just drop from my downloads file on my computer the image that I wanted in. Once it's been uploaded, then I can just simply click and drag across. At this point, I'm going to go over to my elements panel and go for shapes. You can choose circle, square, star, whatever you like. I like circles. So then I'll go ahead and size this down. Because I know that I need 3 circles for my color palette, I'll go ahead and hit Command C, which is copy, and Command V, which is paste. If you're on a PC, you'll hit Control C, Control V, and then I'll do that again, And I'll just use my little pink guides to get them all aligned. They look about right. I can go up here to position and just hit tidy up, and that will make them equidistant and all aligned. Once I'm here, I want to adjust these 3 green circles to match my hex codes here. So this is where that 6-digit number comes into play. I'll select the first circle and then go up to the top left corner, click on this green box, and it will give me lots of color options. But I want to use this hex code, and to do that, I go to Document Colors and this rainbow square with the plus sign in the middle. If I click that, it gives me a color palette, and then you notice there's a hex code right here. So instead of that hex code, I'll then go over to my keyboard and type in 33 CC, whoops, 33, yikes, CC, and then BC, and hit enter. I'll have the first color, my second one, go back up to this top panel, hit the rainbow with the plus sign in the center, and type in hashtag BC33CC, and that will give me the second color that matches. And then my final green circle, I'll go over to my rainbow color picker option, and I'll type in hashtag CCBC33 and hit enter. And there I have my 3 colors. At this point, I might delete this and then create an additional page, start creating my colors, and then once I'm all done with my design, I would go ahead and highlight this palette and toss it out before I saved my files or sent it to print. So that's how you go ahead and use the color generator tool or the color wheel tool and get it into Canva so you can use the colors that you've selected in your next design.